Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube.com. It is good old MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony the Hitman Florio, the Phenom Michael Bullock, and the Twisted Angel D.D. Woodson. I gotta apologize. Basically, last night I was trying to get on um, the ridiculously raw, but for some odd reason, I don't know if it was my connection. I don't know if it was just the Google Hangout was being a Dinkelberg and a Nog, but I just could not get on the show. It was preventing me from doing that, and because of that, Michael Bullock, I like a special request to please put the Google Hangouts on your list.
Okay, I will certainly do that. Google Hangouts for giving Michael Fletcher a hard time for not trying. Well, let me try that again.
You know what happened?
Google Hangouts for giving Mike Fletcher a hard time of trying to get on the show last night. You
What
want to know
happened?
what happens like that? You want
What
to know what
happened?
happens, Fletcher?
What
What
happened?
happens?
Google Hangouts? You just made the list.
Thank you. All right. So with that said, we're gonna dive right into Cerebral Smack Talk, and of course the aforementioned SmackDown Live. And we started off with a segment, and it basically the show began with Renee Young, now happily married. Congratulations, Renee. Just recently got married to Dean Ambrose. Maybe that is why Dean Ambrose is on Monday Night Raw and Renee Young is still on SmackDown. Hmm, I wonder. Anyway, story for another day. And we started it off with my man, my new favorite star on SmackDown Live. And yes, I'll even admit it. Here comes a shocker. He's even more popular than Randy Orton to me right now. I know. People's probably gasping right now. But it is the king of the strong style, the five-time former IWGP Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, the former IWGP Heavyweight Champion in 3 occasions, and former two-time NXT Champion, king of the strong style. I said it. He is flamboyant. He is amazing. His knee strikes are like they're like sledgehammers when he hits them. It's Shinsuke Nakamura, my man, from the land of the rising sun, from Kyoto, Japan. Now, during that segment, before even Nakamura got a chance to even talk, Dolph Ziggler interrupted. And a little, back and forth started. Ziggler was asking questions to Nakamura. Nakamura was trying to answer them, but Ziggler basically pulls the mic away, being the douchebag that he is. Whatever the case may be, then Nakamura basically finally started to speak, but spoke in Japanese. I know. A lot of people were like, what the heck? But he called Dolph Ziggler a jackass. Anyway, next thing you know, um, he goes after Ziggler goes after Nakamura, got the upper hand a little bit. Nakamura turns over, exploder suplex. Looks like he was going to hit him with the Bombaye knee or the Kinshasa. Unfortunately, Ziggler ducks out of the ring before the Kinshasa basically went after, and Nakamura poses and does his come on, Ziggler, get in the ring, I dare you to. They're definitely on par for a definite war. Solid segment from what I know. I know I won't be able to do much because obviously due to my work commitments, I missed the show tonight. But with that said, three people that probably did not miss the show that could definitely relate to this. Anthony Florio, you lead off, my friend. Uh, tell it like it is, or allegedly tell it like it is.
Hey, watch it, bite your tongue there, MF. But anyways, well, I'll tell you, MF. I got to do my usual bit there. Yes, indeed. Hello, friends. It is ridiculously over Anthony Flair here with you for another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. And no worries, MF. It is what it is about last night. I mean, it did. But then again, with how disappointing the show was last night, I mean, I think that little technical snafu was a blessing in disguise for you. So, because you didn't have to review the show like we did. But, anyways, a first introduction to Nakamura, it wasn't bad. Most of the awkwardness came from Dolph Ziggler overstretching his references to the Jackson family. But anyway, Shinsuke was entertaining, but I have to think he'd be more intelligible without the mouth guard. I mean, dude, you got to take out the mouth guard because we can hardly understand you. But other than that, I mean, I understand why Michael Fletcher has such an infatuation with Shinsuke Nakamura. Not just him, but Derek Ferrera as well. You know, watching all those Wrestle Kingdom shows, whether he was going up against AJ Styles or Hiroshi Tanahashi or any of those other legends over there. I mean, but Michael Bullock and I, we did our SmackDown chat earlier this evening, and we both agree that we're gonna see Shinsuke Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler go at it. I think it's gonna be a Backlash on May 21 from the IWC capital of the world, Chicago, Illinois. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. So but yeah, I mean, fine segment. It wasn't bad. I mean, like I said, Ziggler was just I think he definitely went a little too far, a little went there, if you will. You know, with the references to the Jackson family, because we all know Shinsuke Nakamura's current gimmick is like Michael Jackson meets Prince. So that's all there is to it. So yeah, Shinsuke was fine. He was entertaining, but like I said, just get rid of the mouth guard and you'd be more intelligible. That's my only constructive criticism. But it was a fine segment for what it was. So give us May 21st. Give us Backlash. I can't wait to see it. So with that being said, Michael Bullock, come on in. Let's get your thoughts on this. We had a little fun with this during our SmackDown chat tonight, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we certainly had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, I mean, it did have some awkwardness with, of course, Dolph Ziggler basically asking the questions, and just when it looked like Shinsuke Nakamura was going to answer it, he pulls the microphone away, and then basically Shinsuke Nakamura takes the microphone, starts asking Ziggler questions, and yeah, I mean, definitely. And then Ziggler with a cheap shot on Nakamura, and Nakamura basically fights back and looks like he's gonna hit him with one of his kicks, but Ziggler tucked his tail and basically ran. So yeah, so these two are definitely going to be on a collision course for Backlash. So yeah, so I thought this was a good segment for what it was. So there's really nothing more to say. So Twisted Angel, Dee Woodson, come on in, give us your thoughts on this.
I thought it was a really good segment. You know, I agree. Nakamura is becoming one of my big favorites as well. I've seen a lot of him on NXT. Haven't seen any of the Japan stuff or anything, but I've seen a lot of the NXT stuff. And yeah, the stuff he can do, just totally amazing. So um, you guys pretty much touched all of it, so I'm not going to say too much more. So let's move on.
All right, guys, and we're going to shift gears now to what I doubtably will believe in my mind could be the fight of the night. Could be. I'm not saying it might be or that it was, but this definitely could be a fight of the night candidate because it was AJ Styles, the phenomenal AJ Styles, the now soon to be number one contender for the United States Heavyweight Championship, depending on the outcome of what happens between Chris Jericho and the current champion Kevin Owens, and he is going one on one with the Lone Wolf Baron Corbin, a guy who I think a lot of people believe is who could get a monster push like Braun Strowman is getting on Monday Night Raw. Corbin might be in line for a monster push on SmackDown in 2017. Well, once it was all said and done, the winner of the bout was AJ Styles at 12 minutes and 11 seconds. But after the match happened, all hell broke loose. Corbin and Kevin Owens. Owens was at ringside, and he jumped. They both jumped AJ Styles, and then of all people, Sami Zayn came out and he actually tried to save AJ Styles. Hit Corbin with a haluva kick, then Owens tossed him out of the ring, and then got AJ Styles and knocked him out with a pop-up power bomb in the center of the ring. Oof. Michael Bullock, take this one for a spin.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this match about 2.5 to 3 stars as my rating on the match. I mean, it definitely was good for what it was in that time frame, but man, after the match, whew, I mean Kevin Owens comes in and beats up AJ Styles, and it looks like it's a double team, and then out comes Sami Zayn, and he gets taken out by Kevin Owens, and then Kevin Owens basically finishes up with the pop-up power bomb as to send a message to the number one contender for the United States Championship. So, and I can tell you we all know Kevin Owens is going to retain the title at Payback, and then eventually it's going to be these two him and AJ Styles facing off at Backlash, and it's going to be in Chicago. So it's going to be interesting. And I told Florio about this. It's going to be interesting to see who gets a bigger crowd reaction, because those two are popular members of the IW. I mean, the IWC is a big fan of both of these guys, but to me, in my honest opinion, I think AJ Styles is going to get the bigger pop. So, but we'll cross that road when we get there. So, 2.5 to 3 stars is my rating on the match. So, DD Woodson, I give it to you.
After last night, I'm hoping Raw is taking notes, because this is how you run a show. This match, even with Kevin Owens trying to interfere in it, it came to a clean ending, and it was, a very good match. I'm going to agree with Bullock on the rating, and the little bit after the match was even more exciting to a point than the match itself, but still, I mean, it was just, it was a very good match for what it's worth, and a good way to start off SmackDown. So, Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, this was a fine match. 12 minutes and 11 seconds. I'll be honest, there was not really much to be excited about with that bout. It flowed a bit differently than the match last week, but it didn't really reach top gear at any point. It seems that they are transitioning Baron Corbin into a feud with Sami Zayn, which is good, but I hope they don't have him calling Zayn a neurotic loser every week. So that's all I can say on that. I'm going to give it between about 2.5 to 3 stars. Fine match for what it was, like I said, but there just wasn't much to be overly excited about. But of course, we know we're gonna get Owens and AJ Styles. That's a dream match anywhere. And and Bullock, you remember I told you this earlier during our SmackDown chat. AJ Styles, we know what AJ Styles. TNA was the house that AJ Styles built. We all know that. And Bullock, I told you that earlier. And I also told you, Bullock, that ROH, Kevin Owens was one of the mainstays of ROH when he was the Antichrist of professional wrestling, Kevin Steen. And Sami Zayn, let's not forget, Sami Zayn was also an ROH guy as well. El Generico with the mask. Hello, everybody remembers that. So yeah, two contrasting styles. AJ Styles, the technical, the scientific, technical, savvy, high flyer. He still brings that X Division style to the WWE. Only fitting because he was the very first X Division champion, as we all know. And Kevin Owens, of course, the stronger and more powerful of the two. And there's no question about it. He brings that bully mentality. That's all there is to it. And it's going to be a contrast in styles. I mean, when AJ debuted at the Royal Rumble last year, I mean, one of the matches that we wanted to see right off the bat was AJ Styles against Kevin Owens. Well, guess what? May 21, in the IWC, capital of the world, Chicago, Illinois, the United States Heavyweight Championship on the line. There's your show stealer right there. And don't be surprised if that ends up being the fight of the night. Just saying. 2.5 to 3 stars. MF, how do you follow that?
Well, the way I follow it now is, we have a tag team match. It's actually a beat the clock challenge too, guys. So there's basically 2 sets of tag team fights. The team that wins it in the quickest amount of time basically becomes the #1 contenders for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship. They will get the opportunity to fight the Usos sometime down the line. Now, many of you guys know the New Day is a part of SmackDown. However, they have not officially debuted yet. I think what they're going to do is they're going to wait for Kofi Kingston to get back because Kofi is injured. Once Kofi comes back, then will fully debut on SmackDown Live. Xavier Woods, Biggie Langston, and Kofi will be Team Blue. Now, first fight in this tag team beat the clock challenge was American Alphas versus the Colons, Primo and Epico. The winners of the bout, minutes and 17 seconds, and making the time is Jason Jordan, Chad Gable. They were ready, willing, and Gable tonight. American Alphas gets the victory. And Dee Dee Woodson, you lead off, my dear. What did you think about this tag team fight?
Very entertaining. They definitely. No, I don't know if this will go in anybody else's opinion, but to me, it was entertaining. They actually kept my attention. Of course, my biggest beef with WWE is the placement of commercials. But I'll get into that a little later in another certain match where it was even more irritating to me. But I'm not going to say this was match of the night or anything, but it was very entertaining. I don't even think I really picked a match of the night tonight because I didn't even write down my ratings just like I did last night. So I'm going off of the top of my head here. I'm going to give it probably 2 to 2.5 stars because we haven't had a beat the clock match in quite some time, and I was really surprised that American Alpha did make it out on top since the Colognes have been doing so well since they jumped over. So, that's about all I think I'm going to say about it because I know you guys will cover a lot more. So, Florio, it's yours.
And in honor of the Beat the Clock Challenge, MF, you remember you remember that classic game show, Beat the Clock. And I remember one time we were on the phone and it came up and we did the funny theme song. We used to do the Beat the Clock, Beat the Clock. Remember that?
I remember that. I remember that. Yes.
I did that with Bullock tonight, and we had a little fun with that during our SmackDown Live chat. Shocking, but yes, Beat the Clock. That's exactly what it was. So first of two, and I got to give it 1.5 to 2. That's the rating that Bullock and I agreed on during our SmackDown chat here. I got to be honest, none of the strategy from the Colognes made sense. Neither team really had the urgency that you would expect for Beat the Clock after the first minute. I like the new look for the Colognes. I mean, they got rid of those Shining Stars tights there. They got a new look, which I really like. And hopefully this is the start of bigger and better things. And thankfully, we now have the bad taste of Los Matadores and the Shining Stars now out of our mouths. And now we have a reason to actually take these guys seriously, finally. I mean, it's the first time in 5 years we've had a reason to take these guys seriously. It's almost like they're back to the Primo and Epico that they once were when they had Rosa in their corner. Back when they were winning the tag team titles at house shows, of all things. But like I said, none of the Cologne strategy made sense. Neither team really had that sense of urgency that you would expect for a Beat the Clock bout after the first minute. And the only thing I dread about I like the concept of the Beat the Clock challenge, I do, but when going into a Beat the Clock challenge, do you really expect it to be a Flair Steamboat 5-star classic? Don't, because they never do. So 1.5 to 2 is my rating for it. So Bullock, 1.5 to 2, that's what we agreed on, right?
Yeah, 1.5 to 2 stars is my rating on the match as well. I'm glad they finally ditched the whole Shining Stars gimmick, and now we can finally not have to worry about Shining Stars, Los Matadors. They're just the Colognes. So yeah, neither one of these teams had a sense of urgency, but it was a good match for what it was in the short amount of time, and yeah, American Alpha set the pace. So we'll see if they're the number one contenders or somebody else was. So 1.5 to 2 stars is my rating. So Fletch, let's just move on.
All right. So the next thing we had, well, it was a backstage segment. Basically, Rusev was really ticked off. Said that he didn't like the Superstar shakeup, and that if he didn't get a title shot at Money in the Bank, or that he would just pack up and go home to Bulgaria. All right, fine, whatever. Then there was basically, Becky Lynch was interviewed about Charlotte, and she said that she didn't really approve of her methods and that she couldn't argue with the results. Then there's this kind of mean girl type thing. Tamina, Natalia, Carmella, even James Ellsworth walking up, told Becky that if she wasn't with them, that she was against them. So you could obviously see the battle lines are now drawn. Carmella, Natalia, Tamina are the main bad girls. Becky right now is between is the tweener. We don't know which way she's gonna lean, but I'm probably thinking she's going to face. That makes Charlotte Flair a face. That's gonna make Naomi a face, and these two lovely ladies are gonna be battling out. Oh, by the way, in our main event of the evening. But wait, we're not there yet. But what we did get was a no disqualification match. Randy Orton one-on-one against Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan loses to Randy Orton via the RKO out of nowhere. The WWE champion wins the match at 13 minutes and 20 seconds. And then after the match, Jinder
Yeah.
Mahal comes out and he cuts a promo on Randy Orton. A fight ensues. The Bollywood boys from NXT, they show up. They jump Orton. It's a 3-on-1 beatdown a la Legacy style. And then a Cardinal Sin tonight. Jinder Mahal walked out of the ring with the WWE Championship. You already know that was gonna grind my gears, you son of a beep. That's not your belt. With that said, Anthony Florio, you lead off. Take it.
This is for the Orton and Rowan bout, right? We're not getting into that other stuff from earlier.
No, Orton and Rowan, and we're also going to talk about that little Bollywood thing that happened after and Mahal taking the belt, stealing the title.
I could have a lot of fun with that, but I'm not going to go there. Doing the
Oh,
funny
you could go
commentary.
there. No, you could go there. Be my guest.
Yeah, doing our funny commentary. Jinder walking out with the belt. He deserves it. Give him the belt, man. It's good enough for me. You took out the champ. Give him the belt. Good enough for me. So, yeah, that's what I would have said to my my heel commentary, heated heel commentator gimmick. But okay, yeah, Mahal needs to calm down a bit. I mean, but this wasn't a bad second effort for him. He's very 80s in the respect that he's just yelling his lines as angrily as he can. Adrian Neville, you know, a lot like when Neville does that screaming that Michael Bullock loves so much. Yeah, right. But anyways, Rowan put on a very entertaining match with Orton, who he seems to have good chemistry with. I got to say, maybe this was my fight of the night here. Well, actually, maybe my second best fight of the night here. It's between 3 and 3.25. Surprisingly good match. I mean, we had some good spots during the match, and you know, Bullock and I we thought about what was going through MF's mind when Jinder Mahal stole the title. I think there's a reason for that, and the reason being is that House of Horrors match with Bray Wyatt for the title, or is it a non-title match? I don't even. Is the title on the line? Is it a non-title bout? I don't know.
From what I know, I thought it was a rematch for the WWE Championship.
I thought so too.
I thought Bray Wyatt implemented his rematch clause, and that fight in the House of Horrors was for the WWE title. That's what I thought and initially thought it is. I don't know for sure either, but that's what I had. That was the feeling I had as well, that the title was on the line.
But I haven't seen any indication on television or anywhere else that the title is on the line. So maybe they had Jinder steal the title because, you know, it's a non-title match, maybe. That's the only thing I can think of. But I don't know. But yeah, the Bollywood boys. Let's get back to Mahal. He's got the Bollywood boys. Harv and Gyur Singh there. You remember them? They participated in last summer's Cruiserweight Classic, which you all know was, of course, my cup of tea, as everybody knows. One of the great things about last year, and they had a decent showing, but not overly spectacular. But I'm glad to see these guys getting a chance, and we got a nice little Punjab stable, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm willing to see how that goes, and but let's be realistic. If you have Jinder Mahal beating Randy Orton for the WWE Championship at Backlash in Chicago in your office pool, you lose. It's as simple as that. Orton's winning that thing. Don't worry, Orton's going to lose it eventually. But that won't be until August 20th in Brooklyn, New York at SummerSlam, when Randy Orton will lose the WWE Championship to a certain phenomenal one, if you know what I mean. So that's all I can say on that. 3 to 3.25 stars. Mahal steals the belt. Hey, give him the belt. He deserves it. Ha! Just being a heel commentator there. So I'm only kidding on that. So I'm just having some fun here. So Michael Bullock, your thoughts on Orton and Rowan's no DQ match, and then the aftermath with Jinder Mahal and the Bollywood boys?
Yeah, I'll have to say 3 to 3.25 stars is my rating as well for the match. I mean, Yeah, this is probably one of the best matches I've seen from Eric Rowan in a while, and certainly cert- yeah, I think we all knew Randy Orton was definitely going to go over here, and yeah, Jinder Mahal. I mean, stealing the belt. You, I immediately knew Fletcher was not going to be too happy about it when he hears of this. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. So 3 to 3.25 stars. So Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
I'll agree with the rating, and I'm with Fletch. That sucked that they let him run away with the title that wasn't even his. I mean, but it's not, of course, the first time that kind of crap has happened in WWE. Nothing's ever new in wrestling, um, but it is what it is. The match, yeah, it was a very good match. So not much more I have to say about it. So let's move on.
Well, you kind of knew that I had to get that out of the system because, me being a Randy Orton mark, and, as much as I could say I wanted it to bring a little bit of that Gorilla Monsoon. So I knew the minute I heard, I heard that he stole the belt. I knew you kind of knew something bad was going to go down on my end. Well, all right. So the next thing we had was basically Connor and Victor, the Ascension versus Brizongo in the second Beat the Clock challenge. And ladies and gentlemen, somebody actually beat the clock. The clock was set at 5 minutes and 17 seconds. The match only took 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Therefore, the winners of the bout, and now the new number one contenders for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship is Tyler Breeze and Fandango. Breezango wins. They are your new number one contenders. So with that said, Michael Bullock, my friend, it is yours. What do you think about this? Breezango, number one contenders.
Boy, this is definitely surprising. I mean, I'll say even more surprising than Jinder Mahal becoming the number one contender for the WWE Championship. So I'll give it about one to 1.25. Like I said, it was a short match, but yeah. So congratulations to Breezango for now becoming the number one contenders for the SmackDown tag team titles. So yeah, I really don't think there's anything more I can say on it. So 1 to 1.25. So Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'll agree with the rating. You know, match was short, yeah, but you know, we still got a um, clean finish, a definite winner out of it, and surprise, surprise, Breezango is actually going somewhere, and they're not uh, the joke of SmackDown. So hey, congratulations to them. And not much more I'm gonna say. So Florio, it's yours.
Well, the bout was no rating to a dud for me. I mean, if this was on Ridiculously Raw, this would have been a cutout for me. Just saying, but I'll be honest. It's cool to see Breezango get a win. They could have something with them if this is the cutoff point for them being treated like a joke and a ridiculous comedy and a trifle unnecessary comedy tag team. I mean, a little more seasoning, and we can actually have a halfway decent tag team here. It freshens things up in the tag team division, even though, the Alphas and the Usos were having some hella fun matches. But I don't really have that high of hopes going into this particular bout. I've got the Usos successfully defending, so that's my early projection for that match. So I mean, that's really all I can say on that. So MF, I believe it's main event time, unless there's anything else we need to get into.
No, there isn't, and it is the main event. And this one was highly publicized on WWE, on WWE.com. It's been talked about a lot on the network and on all the dirt sheets around the world. This was a moment for the first time since I believe it was Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch that did this. For the SmackDown Women's Championship, the main event of the evening, the champion, Naomi, versus the challenger and 5-time women's champion, 1-time Divas champion, and 4-time and the last Divas champion in the history, WWE Women's Champion, I think 1-time, and 3-time Raw Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair, as she tries to become a 6-time champion and the first SmackDown Women's Champion reign for her. Unfortunately, guys, as good as this fight was going to go, and it was getting into a good point, the fight gets thrown out. The Mean Girls of Tamina, Carmella, and Natalia comes in. They jump both. They jump both Charlotte and Naomi. Referee throws the fight out at 8 minutes and 49 seconds. Damn. Oh man. Okay. I believe Dee Woodson leads off on this. I already got a bad feeling.
Oh boy.
Wait a minute. Doesn't Bullock I let off on the last?
Actually, Bullock. Yeah,
match.
it goes to you. Yes.
And Bullock, before you start off, what is the new name of that little faction that we call Carmella, Ellsworth, Natalia, and Tamina? What do we call them?
What was it? I'm trying to remember.
I got you. I'll handle it. The Sweet Valley High Mean Girls. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what it was. The Sweet Valley High Mean Girls.
Well, they struck tonight.
Stupid idiot mutton heads. Dee Woodson, you lead off.
No, Bullock, you do.
I do. Wait a minute. I led off on the last match.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right. I guess we stand corrected.
You guys are confusing me.
It's you, my dear. You lead off. It's your fight.
All right. This is the one that I'm going to gripe about the commercial break, because we just have a commercial break when Naomi comes out, and shortly after Charlotte comes out, you're starting the match, and all of a sudden you go into another commercial break. That's a wee bit too close together. It's definitely something that kills the momentum of the match. Then you go through what was, a very awesome match going on there, and then you throw in the Bopsy girls here with their puppet Pinocchio to come out there and interrupt the damn match. I mean, come on, give me a break. I mean, you really want to screw up a match like that in this kind of fashion? I mean, you got 2 strikes here. This definitely is one of those situations to where I'm about ready to hop on a plane if I didn't have to go to work at 7:30 in the morning and go nuke WWE writers, because this is beyond ridiculous. I mean, you take an awesome match and you ruin it. You ruin the main event. You ruin the end of SmackDown. For what? Just to prove a point that Natalia is the top dog? I mean, she hasn't even really won too many matches lately herself, being Miss Blackheart. And like I said back when they first brought Charlotte over, there's going to be a match eventually with who's the actual person that can use the title Queen, because you have the Queen of the Blackhearts, and then you have Charlotte, who calls herself the Queen. You can't have two rulers in one division on one show. You're going to have that headbutt in there. But man, I am so sick of WWE screwing with, you know, 1 minute it's the tag teams, the next minute it's the ladies, then you throw it over here and they'll screw up something else. You know, like last night they pretty much just destroyed Raw to the point to the ratings I think plummeted last night from what I read. But I mean, come on, guys, do we really have to go back in time with this time machine thing and just start all these stupid fights that we've had before? You're starting to really degrade what you all have already built up with the ladies by doing this crap. And I'm just sick and tired of it. I don't want to hear any more of it. I don't want to see any more of it. You continue this, you're going to get more rants, and eventually you'll probably get me knocking on your door and giving you the rant in person instead of on YouTube. And I don't think you want that. Out of all these three of these guys on here, the one that knows me the most to go into major rants definitely is Fletcher, because I will sit here and I will give you the what for, and I will tell you how the cow ate the cabbage. I mean, that's the Okie in me. That's the cop's daughter. That's, I mean, the mom.
That's the Midwest coming out.
Oh yeah.
That's the Midwesterner coming out of you. Trust me, us Northern boys, we don't know much about the Midwest talking jive, but I know it enough because I've known you since 2002. So yeah, I known you for about 15 years now about the Midwestern.
We're going on 16 here pretty soon, because Gabby's going to turn 17 in August. But that's a story for another day. But yeah, being a mom with 2 girls, 3 boys, this is not what I want my kids to see. It's not what I want my daughters to watch and say, this is what we want to be, or this is, you know, how we want to act in the future. I don't want to see them come out and do this crap where we have to cheat to win, we have to degrade the women, we have to find some way of just coming out here and just destroying what ends up starting to build to be a really good show, for them to pretty much in the last 2 matches just kind of fall off the cliff. You know, we're going to take that little leap of faith and we're not going to make it to the other side. We're going to drop down to the bottom. So, in the immortal words of Matt Hardy, let's delete it. Okay? So much for that. Move on before I get back on the high horse. For me, I'm not going to. I know that it was a good match. I'm not going to rate it just because of the fact that I'm too steamed to rate it. So
it's an automatic NA. Yeah. It's an automatic NA because the fight was a no contest. That's automatic.
Right.
Yeah, whenever it's a no contest, it's an automatic NA.
But as we move on to me, I will be honest here. I'll tell it like it is. I mean, it was an enjoyable match. I mean, I enjoyed the main event quite a bit. They told a good story of neither woman being able to put the other away before going to the interference finish they had been advertising all night. It's as simple as that. And it is an NA, unfortunately. I mean, this match was on the verge of becoming something special. And then they had to bring out the most annoying faction that I've seen in a long time in the form of the Sweet Valley High Mean Girls. That's what Bullock and I are calling it. That's our story. We're sticking to it. And Yeah, so take this, take this Sweet Valley High nonsense and check it at the door. That's all I can say about it. I mean, it's right out of the pages of a Sweet Valley High novel, for goodness sake. I mean, and that's exactly what it is. It's Sweet Valley High meets Mean Girls, the movie, and that's what it is. And that's why I merged them. I merged
And
the
there
two.
are your stars: James Ellsworth, Natalia, Carmella, and Tamina.
Oh Lord help me. But it is what it is. But the match was getting so good, and then you had to bring out the Sweet Valley High Mean Girls and put them over on Charlotte and Naomi. In my immortal word, well, in the immortal words of Gorilla Monsoon, give me a break. And as far as my personal words go, get the you know what out of here with that you know what. So done, finished. Sweet Valley High Mean Girls. You know what happens when you ruin a potentially classic match? Do you know what happens
No,
when
what happens?
you know what happens? Oh, you know what happens. Oh, you know what happens. Sweet Valley High Mean Girls. You just made the list. All yours, boy.
Yeah, this match was getting so good until the freaking Sweet Valley High Mean Girls had to get their freaking 15 seconds of fame and ruin it. I mean, give me a freaking break. Give me a freaking break. I mean, this match was getting so good, and the WWE Ritters had to ruin the match for everybody, and this SmackDown Live was on its way to being a good show until this. I mean, I am so upset about this. I mean, is this about putting over three women who haven't proven themselves anything? I mean, Natalia hasn't proven anything. I mean, she's had her chances to become champion, and she's pretty much blown it. Carmella, don't get me started with her and that FABULOUS crap. Get the you know what out with that freaking nonsense. And don't get me started with James Ellsworth, because I mean, I wish I could beat the hell out of that dink. And Tamina, I mean, she was an accomplished wrestler, but the gimmick she has right now, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're putting over three women who aren't even in Charlotte and Naomi's class, and one dink by the name of James freaking Ellsworth. I mean, WWE for putting the Sweet Valley High girls over. In the immortal words of Michael Wilbon, get out. Get the freaking hell out. And you Sweet Valley High girls, you can kiss my ass on this. And that goes for you too, WWE. So get the you know what out with that shit. Done. Finished. Fletch, please move on before I really lose my freaking mind.
All right, well, that's it. The show is over. All we got left is basically just the overall reviews. I'm guessing it is far better than Monday Night Raw show, but how much better was it? I definitely got a feeling there's going to be a little bit of some punishment because of the bad ending on our main event of the evening. Hopefully not too bad, but you don't know. I don't know because I haven't seen it yet, so I can't call it. But these three can. So, as we normally do on my show, it is open form. Whoever wants to take it first, take it for a spin.
I got this.
All right.
Overall, while this show didn't blow my doors off, it at least feels like SmackDown Live has a creative direction. Raw felt very aimless on Monday night, despite having a quote-unquote network special to promote for Sunday. I'm wondering where Luke Harper was tonight. Is he being repackaged? Eric Rowan could use a bit of that following the Wyatt family implosion as well, as he continues to live under the radar while having good matches. I'm also happy for Breezango, who are getting some much-needed creative attention. And what I'd like to see next week is a lot more character work. SmackDown leans on its work rate to get to great effect, but it leads to people ending up in feuds that feel like they need more definition. I'm hoping that improves going forward. 6 to 6.5 out of 10 is my rating for this show tonight. It was going to be higher, but after that BS finish with the Sweet Valley High Mean Girls doing what they did, so it would have been more like 7, at least 7, but it's 6 to 6.5. But we're all agreed this show was definitely far and away better than that dumpster fire that was Monday Night Raw last night. So that's all I can say on that. 6 to 6.5. Bullock, it's yours.
5.5 to 6 out of 10 is my rating for this SmackDown Live. I mean, this was on its way to being a 7 or even better, but that trashy ass ending to that main event really killed it. So I mean, everything else was good, but like I said, that trashy ass ending to that main event really killed it with the freaking Sweet Valley High girls. Like I said, get the you know what out with that shit. It's done, finished. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Okay, last night I gave Raw 4 stars. I'll give SmackDown 6, just because storyline progression, all the good stuff that we like about it, but you're not getting much higher than that just because of the BS ending you gave us for the Beat the Clock and for the women. I mean, this is 3 matches between 2 shows that the women have had jack shit on. Ugh. Then you get Pinocchio, who wishes he's a real boy out there with the 3 witches out there. I mean, what the heck are we doing now, guys? Are we going back to preschool with the way
The biggest witch is Natalia.
Oh.
And this is why now Anthony Florio has lost respect for Natalia.
Oh yeah. You know, Natalia was one of my top girls until she started putting down her uncle and started saying that now she is the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Well, of course she's not.
Beyond debatable.
She's not, because she's the new Maurice of SmackDown that can't do anything. I mean, you got Maurice over here on Raw who won't even wrestle, and the one time she does wrestle, she doesn't even hardly get in the ring and do anything. Makes everybody else carry the match. And now you have Natalia, who thinks she's the head honcho because Alexa Bliss is now on Raw. And then, I think the shakeup.
And if you Sweet Valley High girls got a problem with our opinion, why don't you come on our show and debate it with us? Because if you think you're better than all the other women on SmackDown Live, then you know what? All 3 of you and that dink James Ellsworth are freaking wrong.
I think the shakeup, at least for the women's division, just kind of really just screwed up everything, because I mean, Charlotte was doing so well on Raw, and then she comes over here and it's like she can't do anything because you have the 3 idiots here, the 3 little these 3 little witches over here that just want to
Biatches is the better term.
Well, there's a certain show that was on WB that I can't even think of the name of it, that had the 3 little witch girls on it, but I don't remember what the name of it was, but that's what they remind me of.
You're going with Charmed. You're talking about Charmed. Yep.
Yes. They remind me of the girls on that. I mean, and then you have Pinocchio, the man who can't do squat, and for him, you know he thinks Carmela is his girlfriend, and she's just using him. So you know, whenever that's going to come to a head, there's no telling. But I, I mean, this show just it was not worth the ending of it was not worth your time. I mean, you can watch all the way up to that second beat the clock, and then you can just kind of forget the rest of the show because it just sucked. The match, yeah, it was a good match, but still, the ending ruined it. Um, and having those four raising their hands in victory over it when they weren't even in the match was just overkill, and it just, I mean, it's just it. I mean, you get your 6 stars, but I mean, you got this little Midwest Southern Belle here really ticked off, guys, and that's not a good thing because you may have Jericho's list, you don't want on my list. You don't want on my list. And I'm not going any further with it, so
I know what she means, boys. Oh Lord, do I know what she means?
you
Yeah,
don't.
you
I don't
don't
think
want
I
to be
want
on
to
that list.
know.
You
No,
don't want to be on that list.
no, you
You
don't.
don't.
You don't want on my list because Jericho's list may be a joke or whatever, but my list, no joke. You don't want on it because this
Once you're in it, you never get out.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
Once you're in it, you're
Once you're
not
in it,
gonna
you're
get
not
out.
coming off. It wasn't like what happened with Dean Ambrose that got unlisted. No. Once
unlisted,
you're
they relisted.
yeah. So no. Once you're
No.
on it, you're in it for life. You're gone.
Oh yeah, and there's still several people that Fletch knows that is still on my list. So, so yeah, that's pretty much it. So good night, guys. I guess I'll see you next week.
Good night, Didi. Okay. Bullock, have you gone? Actually, has
Yeah, I already
everybody?
did.
He did. Florio did hit his.
I think that's it.
Didi hit hers. That's it. All right. So, all right. I don't got much on Ring of Honor news this week because I haven't been following it. Um, there is some RWA news, and it's actually bad news. I actually got this from Anthony Danilo himself. He posted it on Facebook that Big Daddy T Phoenix is going to be out of action for a little while. According to Anthony, he found out that T Phoenix, or Big Daddy T Phoenix, suffered a torn meniscus in the leg. I guess it was during training. Um, not too long ago. He is going to be out for a substantial amount of time of action. As many of you guys know, there was a big show coming up, Perseverance. He is clearly going to be out of that. He hopes to be back for Legacy, which is the RWA's biggest wrestling show of the year. This is their equivalent of WrestleMania. This is RWA's WrestleMania event. It's their biggest event of the year. There was supposed to be a show on May 19th. That was the Perseverance show. As of now, it looks like T Phoenix will not make that show. That show is basically, it looks like he's going to be on the out for that. What we are hoping for, and we are hoping that he will make his return, or that he would be ready to go on Saturday night, July 22nd, from the Thayer Arena in Warwick. That is the biggest event of the year. That event is Legacy number 10. That is where it all begins again for the Renegade Wrestling Alliance. That's their 10th. That's like I said, Legacy is their WrestleMania, their biggest event of the year. So we got that. Perseverance is May 19th. Like I said, as of now, it looks like T Phoenix will not be able to fight in that event. We hope that he'll be set for Legacy. We don't know as of yet. As of right now, there's a lot of information coming out. No matches have been announced as of yet for Legacy. So, or I should say, there's no matches announced for Perseverance just yet. But once we do hear any news, I will have it right here on the show. So guys, I do want to let you guys know, if you want to get tickets, go to squareup.com/store/RWA. It's going to be on Friday night, May 19th. The bell time is at 8 p.m. They go all the way up to 11. It's going to be on 225 Kawanet Street. That's in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. That's their new home, the Chop Shop Part 2. And of course, like I said, it's the RWA's new show on their new home, in their new home. No matches have been announced as of yet. However, if you want VIP tickets, you get a front row seat, an event poster, and early entry into the building. $15 to get in. General admission is $10, and then children under 12 years or under, you go in for $5 at $5. Like I said, this is going to be an unbelievable show. Right now, I wish nothing but the best to T Phoenix. With you, my friend. You are an incredible wrestler, and I've gotten to see you in the ring many times. And I promise you, one of these days, I'm bringing my boys with me. I'm bringing Anthony and Michael Bullock. They're intrigued enough that they've already said that they would love to see an RWA show. Hopefully, maybe we can do it. Maybe we could pull it off and maybe do a Friday night event. I know the timing is a little rough, but hopefully we'll get something done. Or maybe we can do a Saturday night event, do Legacy in Warwick. Maybe we can go to that one and be a part of the biggest wrestling show of the year. All right. So that's it. That's all for our show. On Thursday night is actually the Ranger Roundup. We're going to be recapping Game 1 of the second round series between the New York Rangers and the Ottawa Senators. So that's Game 1. Of course, actually tomorrow, I think tomorrow night's a Bulls corner too. It's going to be the Chicago Bulls versus the Boston Celtics. And that's in a very pivotal Game 5. And actually, news just broke out today. Really big news for Chicago. Rajon Rondo might play Game 5. So who knows? That might be a change of the series again. Does that swing in the way of advantage Chicago? We'll see. We do got the docket for Strictly Sports. First off, we're going to talk about the unfortunate incident that happened during the week that had a lot of the news people going absolutely crazy. And yes, that was the suicide of Aaron Hernandez. There's a lot to talk about that. We'll get into that. Sterling Marte was suspended by Major League Baseball. Madison Bumgarner was on the disabled list after being injured in a dirt biking incident. Grayson Allen decides that he's going to stay with the Duke Blue Devils and play his senior season. One of the most polarizing players in Duke basketball history. We're also going to be previewing round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And for the first time this year, the Major League Baseball power rankings, and it will be every week from now on up until September, when we're going to have to break it away, end that run, because we'll have college football and the NFL once we hit September. So the first power rankings of Major League Baseball from now until September, what's those rankings going to look like? 10:30 Eastern Friday night on the Tone 25 YouTube.com. That's how you find out. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching this. You know the routine. Like the video. Send it to all your friends on every platform of social media. And for Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, for Dee Woodson, I'm Michael Fletcher. Jose Hand we are out. Have a good night, everybody, and so long for now.